You know, helmet companies could put a camera mount in the front of the helmets.
Ride on, Jewel. Let your spirit be free. With the wind at your back and the whole
I told you I knew where I was.
Jewel. Let your heart be your guide. In the depths of the thunder, it's your rant and your ride.
Alrighty, so yeah, this is a new bike helmet I got. It's really got a cool design feature, but they missed the mark by about 15-20%. They had this large area in the front. You know, helmet companies could put a camera mount in the front of the helmets. It's been like 15 years we've had frickin' action cameras and nobody's made a helmet with built-in camera mounts. What's up with that? And this has a ratchet helmet fitting system, which is an epic design. The fail is this is a plastic ratchet system, not an actual BOA system. If it was BOA, it would be perfect. Alright. Alrighty, so just trying out this new helmet. It is super light. Which is cool. I had to make my own camera mount, which is, I wouldn't say it's solid. You know, these helmet companies, this is my rant. These helmet companies we've had adventure helmets now for 15 years. Maybe 20. 15 or 20 years, and they're not making helmets with camera mounts. I mean, how hard is that, guys? You have to buy an aftermarket camera mount or use the GoPro sticker mounts on the side of the helmet if you have an area to mount it. This helmet has a big space right in front. I mean, every helmet manufacturer could do that. But this helmet has a big space right in front that was basically empty. And it's like, why wouldn't you, if you're gonna vent it, but put a piece of plastic there in case you want to mount a camera on it. I mean, it's common sense. There's not much of that around, is there? Not much of that common sense stuff around. Well, I guess we could be really fortunate, you know, the city hasn't shut this area down from motorcycles being over here. You know, I'm sure they will someday. They'll be like, no more motorcycles. with it damp over here, it makes it easy for me to climb all this stuff on the e-bike. It's pretty cool. So let me see if I have this camera at the right angle. The helmet's okay. I mean, I like low visors, and I can adjust it. This visor's almost came stock too low, just barely, but I do like low visors because I really like the sun and the wind out of my face. But all right, let's see here. All right, so just reviewing the video footage, I think my camera angle's close or at the right angle. I think I said back there we've had adventure helmets for 15 years. I meant action cameras. We've had them for 15 years or more, and they're not making helmets with action camera mounts built on them. Why? This helmet right here has a big space right in the front. All helmets could do that same thing, but it has a big space right in the front, perfect for the camera to mount. They left it open. I'm like, well, if you want ventilation, put vents in it, but make it so you can mount a camera there. Anyway, they didn't do that. I made my own mount, and like I said, I don't know if it's going to be a super solid mount. We'll have to see how that plays out, but anyway, the other thing, this helmet has a ratchet fitting system. So you put the helmet on, and it has a ratchet system in the back that tightens on the curvature of your head. Well, it's really cool, and it makes the helmet feel like it was made for you. However, they didn't, it's similar to a BOA design, but they didn't actually use a BOA system. They used the chintzy plastic ratchet system. And reviewing this helmet, I saw a lot of those were the ratchet system. The plastic things come out of the ratchet, you know, because it's a little bit flimsy. I had one side come out when I pulled the helmet off. You know, you have to undo the ratchet first and then push back on the helmet, you know, so you're getting the part that conforms to the back of your head, you know, off your head. But you know, that one little thing, I wouldn't think it cost them that much more to put an actual BOA ratchet in there, and then it would be perfect. And a camera mount, because I think the helmet looks good, is super light. You know, you're only going to use a helmet for one crash most of the time. If you crash it once, you got to buy a new helmet. I don't want to go through the mud if I can help it. But anyway, I wanted to come and test it. You know, most of the helmets that I buy, the visor is at an upward angle and catches the wind, which I don't like. This helmet actually has the visor down low, almost too low, but it can be adjusted up, so I'll probably adjust it up a little bit. The front of the helmet pushes down my sunglasses a little bit. Probably, I don't know if it'll do that with actual riding goggles. I'm just doing all these hills I probably can't do if the sand wasn't wet. It's pretty cool. When the sand's wet, you just zip right up these hills. So, and that's one thing about a helmet, you know, that's it probably doesn't fit on my forehead, and the sides up here as tight as a fitted helmet would, but it fits better in the back, right? Most helmets are loose in the back, and this helmet is like tight in the back, but it pushes the helmet kind of forward, right? So you have room. It's just yeah, this is the fun part of you know, wet sand. You can come over here and climb these hills that you wouldn't normally be able to climb on the e-bike. Because it'd be all sandy. I mean, maybe I could climb them, but this one might be tough. I don't know. Too cool. All right, so anyway, this company makes other mountain bike helmets. The company is called Demon Bicycle Helmets, I guess, UTV helmets. I was looking for a MIPS helmet because they actually make a MIPS bicycle helmet. little bit more money than this. This one was $100. The MIPS helmet is about $130. But when I saw the ratcheting helmet fitting system, I was like, that's cool. I want to try that. And it is cool. It's a great idea that needs perfecting. Some name brand company needs to grab a hold of that with a MIPS liner. It would be really cool. For one, I think the company would be saving money, right, while making money, because I think you'd basically have one or no more than two shells, you know, and then you would have the fitting system that snugged it to your head. You know, this bicycle helmet is a one size fits all. But they could probably make two shells, one for a small head, and then, but anyway, you know, it depended on how well they made the fitting system. But I like it. I mean, so far I'm gonna keep it and try it out. I was pretty iffy about buying it just because of the reviews. You had more positive reviews than negative reviews. And the ratchet system for the fitting is pretty flimsy. It is. It's a flimsy ratchet system with plastic teeth. And I can tell by seeing the post that people just, you know, cranked on it. You know, which, in other words, they over tightened it on the ones that said it wouldn't tighten anymore and it comes loose. You can see they just, you know, ratcheted the crap out of it until it stretched the teeth out. But if you don't take it off carefully, you'll pull it out. It's easy to put it back, but you will pull it out of the ratchet system, and then you gotta insert it back in and get it going again. But I think if I'm careful with it, you know, I mean, my other helmet was a Bell bicycle BMX helmet. I don't even think it was made for mountain biking. It was a BMX helmet, and I bought that one like 20 something years ago, and it's been good. You know, it got more wear and tear from being slammed around in the garage and storage units and stuff, so all the scratches and abuse to it was from that, not bicycling. Doo-doo. But anyway, it's woo! Trying to stay out of the mud here. I don't want to go right home and start cleaning my bike. I will have to get another ride in El Dorado. You know, it looked like it was gonna rain today, but here it is. You know, it's not too bad. Could have been a nice day for El Dorado.
So anyway, you know, the helmet, I gave it 4 stars out of 5. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. You know, for a one-size-fits-all with a ratchet fitting system, it's pretty cool. I mean, that's impressive. It fits good. Like I said up front, on my forehead, little bit loose. You know, I don't have my skull cap on, so that'll, you know, make it not, it doesn't wiggle very much, but I think with the skull cap, it'll stop it from wiggling at all.